China's safety is exaggerated.
I understand you guys, especially Americans and Europeans, travel to China and think China is very safe. And you see all these videos of the people walking in the middle of the night, especially ladies. And everything in China is very safe. You can walk outside in the middle of the night, right? So why is China so safe?
Hello, amazing viewer. Delighted to have you once more at Comfort for Life. I bring to you compilations of TikTok and Red Nut videos for educational purposes. You are new here. Why don't you smash the subscribe button? And to my returning viewers, I love and appreciate you. Thank you so much for your continuous love and support.
Why is China so safe? Usually people would say Chinese people are just more disciplined, more obedient, more collective. That's a really lazy answer, right? China is not safer because people are morally better. China is safer because the system changed the logic of crime. A lot of crime starts with pressure. You want something, you need something, but you cannot get it legally. So some people take illegal shortcuts. Now this is where we need to bring the ideology side of it. Capitalism constantly reproduces poverty and insecurity. Not everybody has to be poor, but the system needs a layer of people who are desperate, replaceable, under pressure, and scared of falling. This is how low wages stay low. This is how labor stay obedient. And this is how profit keeps moving upwards. Especially in a country like the United States, poverty is not just a bug in the system. It's a part of how the system actually functions. And what comes with poverty? Crime, disorder, addiction, thefts, social breakdown. Because when people are under constant pressure, when housing is expensive, healthcare is tied to work, debt is everywhere, and consumer culture keeps telling people to want more. The pressure behind crime never really goes away. Then what does the American government do? Does it remove the root cause? Of course not. And at the end of the day, it only polices the consequences. And the system becomes something that is constantly managing the fallout instead of solving the actual problem. But if you look at China over the last 30 years, China improved the material condition for huge number of people. Daily life got cheaper, basic goods become easier to get, food stay affordable, and survival become more realistic for ordinary people. And the majority of people benefit from this progress. So for a lot of people, petty crime stopped making sense. Then you add cameras, digital payments, IDs, transport records, phone, all of it. That means crime is not just less necessary, it's also much riskier. And that combination matters. This is how you make street crime less worth it. It's not about one population being morally superior. It's more about what kind of system you live under. One system reduces the everyday logic of crime. Another system keeps reproducing the pressure that feeds more crime. And that is why these two societies feel so different right now. This is a fundamental structure issue. I have a full article breakdown about this on Substack. Link in bio. You can support me there. And thank you very much. Take care.
People love to overcomplicate China. They look for secret formulas, hidden agendas, some grand conspiracy. But sometimes the answer is right in front of us. Invest in people. Build infrastructure, make healthcare accessible, keep education a priority, and ensure that even the poor people have food, shelter, and basic dignity. So when you do that, people stop worrying about survival and start thinking about the future. So that's when creativity happens. So that's when the business grows. That's when the society actually moves forward. So it's not mysterious. It's not ideological. It's just investing in the foundation. So China is not perfect, but on the fundamental, giving people stability, opportunity, and a floor that doesn't collapse. Yeah, so follow me to see side of China that the news didn't show you.
China really spoiled me too much. 2 years ago, I lost my passport in Guangzhou, and now I lost my backpack in Zhuhai. We recently visited Hong Kong and Macau, and then planned to fly back from Zhuhai, right next to Macau. So after returning from Macau, we first took the Zhuhai Airport Express to the airport. When we were checking in at the airport, the staff asked, "Oh, have you got any battery packs in your suitcase?" I thought, no battery packs. They're all in my backpack. My backpack. My backpack. My backpack! That was when I realised I left my bag on the Airport Express. Thankfully, my passport was in my pocket at the time, so if we did lose my bag, at least it didn't affect the upcoming flight. However, inside the bag, I did have my English bank card, a pair of Sony headphones that my wife got me for my birthday, as well as, most importantly, 2 fresh pastries from Macau that we bought especially to eat on the flight home. So I quickly ran back to the Airport Express terminal while my wife called the 12306, which is China's Railways helpline. And I explained to staff there that I'd misplaced a black backpack. At this point, our flight was in less than 2 hours. I was thinking my backpack had probably already gone back to Zhuhai with the train. So all I was really hoping for was that they could at least locate the backpack, and then I could pay for them to deliver it back to Harbin. They asked me what my backpack looked like and what was inside of it, and once I'd given them a detailed description, they told me that actually they'd already picked up a bag that had been left at the Airport Express. That was when I started to get my hopes up, and then sure enough, just a few minutes later, one of the staff came up from their office carrying my black backpack. I couldn't believe how quick it was. I guess they must have staff that check every carriage of the Airport Express to make sure there's no lost property on it before giving the train the okay to return to Zhuhai. I assumed my backpack would already be long gone, but luckily it was right here at the airport station. Not only that, but just after I picked up my backpack, the railway helpline actually called my wife again to say the bag that matched the description had just been picked up. Honestly, before travelling and living in China, I'd never lost anything in 20 years. So I'm not sure if I'm getting old or I'm just getting spoiled by China's amazing systems. Because now, without their systems, I'd have lost both the passport and my backpack in just 2 years. So I want to say a massive thanks to the China Railways staff, because it was their efficient work that meant I could still eat our fresh Macau pastries on the flight home. So, does your country have similar lost and found systems in place? Does staff on public transport check for lost property? Let me know in the comments below.
So a lot of you guys, a lot of people think China is safe. And yeah, compared to a lot of places right now, it is very safe. But China was not always like this, okay? I grew up there. I grew up here. I'm in China right now. I remember early 2000 and even 90s. There were things back then that a lot of people outside of China, even some of the younger generations inside China, don't really understand anymore. You know, one of the biggest story in China right now is this woman called Mei Yi. Between 2003 and 2005, a child trafficking ring in Guangdong province adopted and sold multiple young boys, most of them only 1 to 3 years old. The kidnappers took the children, and the woman later identified as Mei Yi, was accused of being the key figure who received the children and connected with the buyers. Basically, she is the broker and sold them onward. So police in Guangzhou said that on March 21st, 2026, that she had been captured and confessed it and had been formally arrested. The case is still being handled and she has not been sentenced yet, but based on how serious this case is and based on what happened to some of the other criminals involved, she will most likely face the death penalty. Now, this is the part people need to understand. A lot of you watch videos from Americans, European, whatever, going to China saying that, oh, China is so safe. Okay, but that did not happen by magic. China is safe now because it went through years of problems, crimes, disorders, painful lessons, and then built a much stronger system over time. And this is a progress, right? In this case, the main traffickers were arrested in 2016. 2 of the key offenders were executed in 2023, and all 9 trafficked children in this case have now been found, which is great. And now in 2026, Mei Yi has finally been caught too. I am personally glad justice has been caught up with these kind of criminals. The real lesson here is not that China was always safe. The real lesson is that society improves, system improve, and law enforcement gets better. And this is how a country becomes safer. And that is what people are seeing right now. And, the tourists can enjoy it, right? Learn from the past mistake and make sure it will never happen again. Anyway, more contents like this on Substack, link in bio. Follow me there and support me there too. Thank you very much. Take care.
I just came to Damansha beach with my family. As you can see it from here, this one. People are putting their shoes in here when they are getting inside of the beach in Shenzhen City. Look at this. This is how safe it is. China is always a safest country in the world. People are putting their shoes in here. If you do this in my country, if you put your shoes in front of your door, steps in your home, it will be stolen from someone. I don't know why, but this is how I grew up while I was living in my country. When I come to China, I just see one thing: safety. One of the important things in the world, and China is giving this to their people.
It's like a delivery collecting center at midnight, wide open. Nobody's in here. Only 3 cute cats, and there's tons of packages, and there's a lot of valuable things inside. And again, you can just walk through it and nobody's here. It's midnight, bro. Okay, found it. Here we have a scanner, and it scans the packages out of the system. Actually, I don't have to do it. There's no obligation whatsoever that I have to scan it out. I can just walk out with my package without saying bye-bye, farewell, and just walk my way. This is not a rich neighborhood. This is actually slums of Shenzhen. This should be inspiration for other countries. I don't know what you think. Let me know.